Okay, so this is my lovely friend Leanne, and we are in Queenstown at Leanne's place. And we've got a bit of a story I thought would be amazing to share, just about what's going on with your life. And so, context-wise, it's work-related, what we're going to talk about. And you're working in Bunnings. What's your general gist of your job there?
I work in the office. I kind of see it as like the centre of Bunnings, which I think is a very important thing. God's put me somewhere where to come to the team room, everyone has to come past me. So it's like the centre of everything.
Beautiful, yeah. And you were telling us last night just about some of the amazing things that have been going on over time. You've been working there for a while, but in recent times, I think the thing that really hit me last night was something had shifted for you. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, it actually started when a girl from work approached me, one of my friends who knew I was a Christian, but we hadn't had too many real conversations, and she sat down on at my desk and she said, I really need to start going in on the God journey again, because one of my colleagues had just mentioned to her about the time he had at a worship night the night before, and she came to me and said, my Bible on my shelf is shining at me.
Wow.
And I cannot ignore it, and I have to start journeying again in the God stuff.
How did she know to talk to you about it?
Well, she knew I was a Christian.
How come?
I told her.
Yeah.
So that was kind of set up, but she also thought that I didn't like talking about my faith, which I found really interesting. Like this vibe obviously I'm giving off that I'm awkward about it.
Yeah.
Don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. So how long ago is this?
This is probably 3-4 months ago.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and over the next week or two, I watched her encounter God, really. She had so many coincidences happen in her life. Like every day there'd be a new story of how God was doing something. And we were just watching. I was just like, whoa, this is crazy.
Is she telling you these things?
Yeah, every day there was a new one.
Wow.
And did the 3 circles with her, and she absolutely loved it. I've always found the 3 circles a bit tricky for myself. Like I haven't quite connected with it myself, but in that moment I was like, okay, let's just give this a shot. And she absolutely loved it. She just was like, oh my gosh, like everything makes sense now.
Wow. This is it. Were you drawing it for her?
Yeah. So yeah, and then over the weeks, months, maybe the next month, I just watched God like change her life, really.
Wow.
And I think this is where the shift came for me, is that I realised how much this is good news.
Yeah.
Like the gospel is good news.
Yeah.
And I think I'd struggled with that in the past, thinking, is it really good news? Like, you know, it's hard to share something when you're not convinced. And I guess looking at my life has been struggles and things that have just made me go, like, is this life that Jesus talks about actually like abundant life? Like, it's just been a bit like a struggle for me. But watching her going, like, changing her life, and, you know, came off lots of psych medication, and like just found a real calm in spite of just like completely like cold turkeying. And I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. Crazy. So and then I went to a worship night at YWAM, which I go to, and one of the girls there was talking about having a heart that burns for the lost. And that in that moment I was like, I don't have that, and I was like, I want that. So I started praying for that, and like every day I'd pray, and it didn't take long before God answered the prayer. Like it was only a week or two, like so quick, and something shifted in me. And up until that point, I think I'd seen evangelism as like having targets on people. And I always knew that that's not the way it was meant to be, but I could never quite get past that. So I was praying, that God will give me a heart for the lost, and he did. And then suddenly, instead of people having targets, people became like lost coins, lost sheep. And it was like, I'm still going after them, but from a place of, I just want to find you. I just want you to find Jesus. Coming off the back of what was happening with my friend, it was like just a real shift.
Yeah. Wow.
And then started praying at Bunnings, God, where are the people? Show me the people that are ripe for harvest.
Yeah.
And because this girl was obviously ripe for harvest, she came to me. It just fell in my lap, you know. I didn't do a thing. So I'm like, okay, who else?
Yeah. Yeah.
So started meeting up with her, reading the Bible every week. And previously she'd been meeting up with another friend just to catch up at lunch. And then this other girl said to the first girl, it's getting confusing, sorry.
No, we're following.
Said to the first girl, why don't we meet up for lunch anymore? And then the first girl's like, well, actually, I'm meeting up with Leanne for Bible study.
Huh.
And so this girl started thinking, and one day when the first girl, I'll call her Dee, came back from Bible reading, she said to me, where can I take my kids to youth group? Just completely out of nowhere. So I set her up with some contacts and then invited her to Bible study. And so she started coming.
And this second girl, is she a follower of Jesus at that point? Okay, no. Yeah.
Not at all, really.
Wow.
She's had a history of, she grew up kind of around Christianity, but really warped. Like God loves you, but then if you're bad, he's, out to get you pretty much. Lots of trauma and violence and all sorts. So a really twisted view of God. So for the last maybe month and a half, she's been coming to the Bible study and journeying with us, and just seeing her, God at work in her life as well.
Yeah.
And she's not there yet, but she is excited. She's so excited about coming to Bible study, and both her and Dee both talk about it as though like it's a calm in the midst of their chaotic lives. Like just sitting down and reading the Bible is just a really place of peace for them. Which is so beautiful. And the second girl is a huge extrovert. She's the loudest person you'll ever meet. So she is telling everybody that she goes to Bible study
at lunchtime.
So she goes to the bagel cart, which sitting at the Bunnings car park, and she gets a bagel before comes to Bible study, and she tells the bagel lady, I'm going to go to Bible study. Bagel lady's a Christian, beautiful little 19-year-old girl that's just become a Christian, and she's like, yep, I'm keen, brings a Bible and shows up. I'm just sitting there at the picnic table. I had no idea this was going to happen. Just finished praying that God would show up. And then this new girl just sits down with her Bible, and she's like keen being like super ready. And I'm just like, whoa, this is intense. So now I've got 3 of them meeting every week.
Every week.
The Bible.
And you're meeting outside at the picnic table.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Bunnings,
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so you're meeting these 3 women every week, and you're doing a Bible study, maybe discovery kind of style-ish, or working through Mark, discovery with Mark, and they're learning who Jesus is. If they're saved, they're growing in their faith.
Yeah.
And what about the people in their worlds? Are you seeing any impact in sort of generationally like that, or?
Yeah, starting to. So Dee is gaining confidence every week. I see a little bit more confidence. At first she was just like a bit private, didn't really want to tell anyone about what was going on for her, but last week she told me about her talking to her mum about the passage we actually read the week before, and sharing that with her mum on a trip down to Invercargill. So that's cool, and she comes to lunch just super excited to share about what's happened. And second girl is, even though she's not really a Christian yet, I would say, she's started to pray a little bit, and kind of says out loud a little bit at home, and their family thinks she's really weird at this point, but that's fine. And yeah, starting to talk to our daughters about the Bible and about God, and
Amazing.
so we're getting there.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So if you were to summarize, you know, the difference, you know, if you think back a year and how things were and where you were at then versus now, how would you summarize what the shift has been for you?
Going from evangelism being a tick box that I was failing at to evangelism being an exciting journey.
Yeah.
Just a wild ride.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And right there at Bunnings.
Yeah.
What's the saying for Bunnings?
Lowest prices is just the beginning.
Yeah. Just the beginning.